I didn't know what tree that I wanted to cut down. So I just sharpened the sword in the meantime. And a lot of guys, I think, and personally, I think I almost fell in the trap of just waiting till I found that thing I wanted to do and then trying. Yo!
Nerds. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Nüvida. Let's talk. Today we have a very special guest. We have the pleasure of sitting down with Justin Georgopoulos, a dynamic entrepreneur whose impact knows no bounds. From revolutionizing the entrepreneurial landscape with 519 Painting, generating an incredible 1.1 million in his first year, to his recent launch of TradeLaunch, a platform that's dedicated to empowering fellow business owners in the trades. Justin's commitment to innovation, leadership, and empowering others is truly inspiring. Join us as we uncover his insights, experiences, and his incredible journey.
Wow.
Brother, thank you for coming on, man.
Awesome. Thanks, bro.
Of course, bro. How you been, though, bro?
You're heavy. Great, man. Great. This spot is insane.
Yeah.
The trees and everything.
Oh, trust me, bro. It's been a piece of art.
Right? Part of the season. You know, we're getting into it.
Even like coming on this podcast, you got the Google form, you fill out. I'm signing. I don't even read what I sign. I don't know what it is. That's awesome. You guys are super professional.
It was a contract with your life in it. So
it was cool, man. Well,
but no, I appreciate it, brother. I guess let's just dive into Ben. I've been wanting to know a lot about Justin, to be honest. Like let's dive into how you got started, bro. How you got started, you know, the entrepreneurship. Where does that come from, man?
Man, I don't know. I don't even really. Yeah, I still have imposter syndrome, you know, where it's like I grew up playing football, playing Modern Warfare 2, like not knowing what I was doing at all, just kind of having fun. Did grade 13, got injured, so I didn't really know what I was going to do. I had scholarships to go play football, so I was like everything. I was like, that was my thing. Didn't ever take business class. Always felt like I wasn't a business guy. Like I didn't really understand the numbers, and like I was more into like writing or like reading and fucking, you know, kind of more the arts side of thing. And then just didn't really know what I was doing. I was living with my mom, living in the basement, like, and just reading books all the time on like purpose, potential, like trying to figure out, because I had this thing in me where I was like, I need to know what I'm doing, because I was going to university like in the next year for psychology, because I actually thought I wanted to be a psychologist, but I actually realized I needed like a psychologist. I needed someone, because I was always like reading advice. I was like, oh, I can give advice, because I'm reading all these advice books. I was like, no, I needed advice at the time.
Do you remember like a point when like you felt like, okay, I got to start reading these sort of books?
I think the first book I read, I don't remember exactly how it happened. I think I was like reading on Reddit, like, what do I choose if I don't know what to do? And like, I don't know what to do. Like all these thoughts of like, I don't know what to do. I read The 4 Agreements. That was the first book I read. That one was pretty cool. It taught me about like how you use your words. Your words are like magic in a sense. Like you can speak things into existence, and not like woo-woo type of thing, but literally like what you talk about, what you think about is very important. So I realized I was just thinking about the fact that I don't know what to do. So I was like, that was just keeping me stuck. So I started just researching more. I ended up going backpacking in BC to really like see the landscape and to find myself, so to say, realizing now that's not really how you find yourself. Like yourself, you just got to work and figure it out as you go. But yeah, I traveled BC. This is in between high school and university, still trying to figure things out. Got a job as a cherry picker, went hostel to hostel for a few months, and then ended up offering to volunteer at this wellness resort where people would meditate every morning. There was no like no one on their cell phones. It was fucking crazy. It was like this little island with like 1,000 people. No one had Snapchat, Instagram. It was like a whole different world.
Where was it?
It was called Hollyhock, and it was in Cortez Island in BC.
And how old were you at the time?
I was like 19.
Damn.
So I stayed there for a month and met some cool people. There was like this little shack that people built. It's called a silent meditation center. People built it in silence. So like as they built it, literally like no one talked. And so then and when you go, you are silent. Anyway, I got to like see some cool stuff. Traveled, met some really cool people, and then I started understanding more about what I wanted. Still didn't think about entrepreneurship at all. That's when I started getting into like alternative ways of like expanding your mindset. I started really getting into that. So that's where
that's a young age, I feel, bro. Like to try to like explore your mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people, like, well, even me, I feel like it was only like a few years ago.
Facts.
You know what I mean? We're like, okay, fuck, like, what am I really doing, right?
Was it podcast? Was it the books? Or what actually brought you to that?
Dude, I actually felt like fucked up. I was like, I don't know, like I'm weird. I don't know what I'm doing. Like I just don't know. And I felt like a little urgency of like I was behind. I felt so behind. So then I started getting into the Wim Hof method was one of the first ones. I remember I was like researching on YouTube like how to fix anxiety or some shit. I don't know what it was, but that's when there was like the breathing method, and it came up on YouTube. I did it, and I held my breath for 4 minutes. And I was like, whoa, this is actually real. Whatever happened to me right now was pretty cool. So I went up, I got really into it, got an ice bath, started doing it, whatever, and then flew out to meet him and then became an instructor. So that kind of put me on the different path. Anyway, just to get that, and that got me to start wanting to use money.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. So you became an instructor from Wim Hof.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we got to talk a little bit about that before we jump to the next one.
Yeah, I guess I can even slow that back down. So anyway, I'll go back to at my mom's house, reading books, went on that backpack journey, came back home, started going to university. Yeah. Now I'm going to university. I could already sniff the liberalness of it. Like, it was just I did not feel welcome at all.
Okay.
Even though there were some certain ideologies I had that were liberal at the time, like very liberal still, like certain things. So anyway, so I didn't really question it too much until like the COVID stuff and it really started escalating.
Yeah.
But I was never doing really my homework. I was always on YouTube looking at videos of like self-development, how to get better, potential, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But wasn't the business yet. But we know that sphere kind of leads into entrepreneurship at some point.
Yeah.
So anyway, really involved in that. That's when I started watching the Wim Hof videos, and that's when I did it. So
for those who don't know, who is Wim Hof?
Yeah, so Wim Hof is like a Dutch daredevil. Basically, he has I think like 26 or maybe more than that.
The Iceman, no?
Yeah, the Iceman. He's got like all these world records. And yeah, he climbed Mount Everest in his shorts, past the death point. He swam on the Arctic ice, like under like the longest way. He had like a 2-hour ice bath. I used to have this stuff memorized because I had to. Like, I had to have like an elevator pitch for Wim Hof because I was the instructor, right? So I had to explain it. Yeah. I haven't done that in a while. But yeah, crazy guy. He's like 70 years old. He created this breathing method that like allows you to tap into there's like your sympathetic nervous system, which is like what you can control. Mm-hmm. And then you're parasympathetic, and that's like what happens without you thinking, like your heartbeat and
like
shit.
Organs working.
Like
organs.
Surviving kind
so he
of
found out
thing,
how to
right?
control that part of him.
Jeez.
They've even injected him with like E. coli, and he fought it off.
Yeah.
He trained students to fight it off. Like crazy shit.
Yeah,
like deep.
That's how you know your brain is powerful, bro.
Dude, exactly. And the way that it kind of makes sense is like, what's the one thing? Well, there's a few things, but one main thing that happens automatically, your parasympathetic nervous system, and happens consciously, is your breathing. So I can choose to breathe if I want, or I can just forget about it and I'm breathing anyway. Yeah. So it's like when you focus on your breath for a long period of time, you bridge the gap between your like the part you can control and part you can't, and that's when you can like get into a deep space and like control kind of the inner workings with your intentions.
Yeah.
It's crazy shit.
Yeah, bro, that's deep, bro. That's deep. So you're 1920 and you have all this information.
Yeah. So I'm learning this and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. So I walk around school, I'm like thinking like, whoa, like, and I was also doing like shrooms at the time, and it's just like way up in my head. Really up in my head. And I was living actually. So anyway, so I wanted to move out, and I didn't have the money really. I was working at the rec room at the time before I was working at Silver City. I didn't have the money to move out. So my uncle was leaving to Greece, and he's like, hey, you could live here in my little condo in Southdale while I go to Greece and just pay the utility bill or whatever. Yeah. So I moved there just to get out of the house. I knew I needed to get out. I was reading books upon like how a boy becomes a man, and a lot of it's separation from the mother. Like there's things I knew I needed to do because I felt like I wasn't I always wanted to live my potential. Like I'd never want to feel like I was settling. Yeah. So moved out there. That's as soon as I got there, I got the ice bath. I got like the chest freezer, filled it up, started doing the trainings every morning. That's when I got really into doing the Wim Hof. I started charging people to come into my backyard and jump in, whatever, for like $50. And it was actually, people were interested. Like it wasn't crazy, but like,
still
anyway,
though, the entrepreneur.
So then that's how I guess maybe that is where the business kind of started shifting. Where I was like, okay, I can make money and give service, and teach this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you kind of had to figure out yourself first, work on yourself, and that's what kind of like created that.
Yeah,
that's dope.
In a way, him saying earlier, like he was going to do psychology, it kind of is a callback as you go through it, your story, because it's like, I kind of want to be like almost a psychologist for people because you're learning stuff, but you're also teaching them other ways to mitigate it.
Totally, man. So I was like fixing myself. As I was fixing myself, I was learning how I could help others. Yeah. But it's to a point where it's like, there's only so much you can really help until you truly like help yourself, you know? And that's when I started thinking about like, okay, I want to be successful. I want to make money too. I want to be successful because then I can have a bigger reach to actually help people. I can bring people up. But that was like kind of unlocked in my mind later. At first I was really like, I want to help everyone. But
it's like Jordan Peterson says, he always says, you can't change the world when your room's dirty.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, you got to make sure your shit's organized first, everything's straight, and then you can go ahead and help others. But like what's the point of helping others when you go back home sad or anxious and this and like you're depressed, like, and you're still trying to help others, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Totally. Yeah, so at that period when I was still in university, I'm now kind of doing this Wim Hof stuff. I'm like pretty quiet. Like I'm not very outgoing at university because I didn't really have.
You go to Weston?
Yeah, I went to King's.
Oh, okay.
So I was being pretty quiet. I was like really just in my head because I was reading tons of books. I was reading like The Alchemist or like The Way of the Superior Man, like Think and Grow Rich, like all these kind of more internal thinking books of like trying to master my subconscious to set goals and all that kind of stuff and figure things out. So that was like my hermit mode around like 20 years old. Hermit mode. I'm really in my head. I'm doing ice baths. I started going for big runs. Like I did like a 26K, then a marathon, and but without not signing up, but just like doing it. I remember did shrooms and I did my first marathon. I just decided that morning to do it. I just fucking did it. My legs were fried. Bad.
I love this story.
But it allowed me to and I didn't realize what I was doing at the time, but all this stuff was like sharpening the sword. And now when I look back, I was like, I didn't know what tree that I wanted to cut down. So I just sharpened the sword in the meantime. And a lot of guys, I think, and personally, I think I almost fell in the trap of just waiting till I found that thing I wanted to do and then trying. But it's like in the meantime, you can still go to the gym. You can still read your books. You can still do your ice bath. You can still do your whatever. Yeah. Get up early. You could build all this stuff. And then when you find the opportunity, like that painting franchise came my way, I was like, I'm ready to fucking crush this shit now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it happened.
So I guess take us. So you move into your uncle's house.
Yeah.
And then like where does it go from there?
Yeah. So got the ice bath. People are kind of coming in. And I'm always driving when I go to drive to work, and I was going to jiu-jitsu place, Submission Academy. And when I would drive by, there was this like rundown kind of grocery store type thing. Yeah. And it was like kind of a variety store. I didn't really know what it was, but it was like really actually intriguing for some reason.
Yeah.
And then one day I was like, hey, you know what? On my way back, I'm just going to go in and see if they got some eggs or something. Because it was just down the street. But it looked different. It did, because it wasn't fully done yet. Anyway, I walked in and I see this guy kind of mopping in the back. No one's in there. It's like late at night. They're just closing. Yeah. And I see these flats of eggs. It's like 30 eggs. So it's not like a carton. It's a flat. And there's no lid on it. So it looks like super like organic, fresh brown eggs. I'm like, oh, fire. So I got one of those. It was $9. I was like, this is a crazy deal. And then I'm talking to him. And then I look at him and he looks at me and I'm like, felt like I knew this guy. Like this like older guy. His name was Mike or Mo. He goes by both names. Palestinian. Yeah. And I just was like, can I work here? he's like, I don't know. He's like, do you know how to butcher a chicken? Because at the back was a butcher shop. I didn't even know they had a butcher shop there. And I'm like, yeah, like absolutely, I can butcher a chicken. So then he's like, okay, come tomorrow and show me you can debone a chicken in front of me, and then you're hired. I was like, all right. And I said, like, do you have some chickens? Like, I just was gonna buy some chickens. So I bought 4 chickens with my eggs, went home. And I had some of my buddies came to my uncle's house, and I'm just in the kitchen. Like, I remember I asked my brother, he sent me a YouTube video, like how to do it, and I'm practicing whatever. And then came back the next day and just totally fucked it up. And he's like, you know what? Like, I appreciate the heart. He's like, you can grind. So I just was like the grinder. I'd throw meat in the thing. And even though I was getting paid less than at the rec room, for some reason I felt called to work there.
What do you think that was? Like, what do you think that?
Dude, I don't know what it was. I truly believe it was like God, like allowing me to go there. Yeah. Because I was reading The Alchemist at the time, and in his journey of finding his treasure, finding his purpose, the same thing I literally felt like I was. And if you guys read the book, we all will feel like the character.
I read it. It's crazy.
We're all the character, right? And the people in the book are all different people in your life. And Mo, I believe, served the purpose of the crystal shop owner. Yeah. That he just goes and works there for a bit, learns some things, and then leaves. And also like gives value to the owner, like giving him some more life. Yeah. He was doing this for a while, and his sons didn't really want to work there that much. And it was so I came in with this like fresh energy, like I'm like doing ice baths, I'm reading books, like I have all these things in mind, like yo, we could do so many things here with this business. And he was the one that was like opposite of what I thought I needed. He was like the opposite mentor. He's like, slow down. Yeah. Money's not everything. When you take out the garbage, make sure to put another garbage bag back in. Like I was always like in my head, so I was forgetting like little things. Didn't really know how to use a drill very well. He showed me that. I couldn't really cut the best. Like he showed me that. It was like the practical skills of being a man and just like getting things done in sequence. Like not like an idiot, like fucking all over the place. That's how we all are. A lot of us with scrolling. So he served that purpose, which was great.
Like kind of like slowing it down and just getting it done.
The method,
like the right way.
The method of it, like, you know, like pretty much like that dad figure where they're like, yo, do it this way. There's only kind of one way to do it, even though there's multiple ways. It's like
one of my favorite sayings, sorry to cut you off, is how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
So it's like, if like I remember I was throwing out the garbage one time and I tossed it like Kobe. I went boom and I missed it. And and I know my uncle saw me in the corner of the eyes. Yeah. And I was like, fuck it, like whatever. I turned around, my uncle goes, he told me that line. He's like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So I went over to the garbage can, picked it up, threw it in, and from that moment I was just like, it's true, bro.
It's true, man.
Yeah.
And that's the things I need to learn because I was reading all these books. I'm fucking ice bath. I'm unlimited potential. Like, I'm like way up here running you know?
Yeah,
and then he's like, okay, but like, you know, do the regular tasks of daily living also. You know, so that helped a lot. I was working there. I'd be listening to podcasts still. Like I would have my headphone in, listen to podcasts. I was cutting in the back, grinding. I came across a lot of different people. And like, if I ever really liked someone on a podcast, I would try to call them. Like I'd try to find a way I could call them. So
Really?
I heard this guy, Nikki Ballou, he was on, it was called the Order of Man podcast. It was like a masculinity podcast.
Yeah.
And this guy came on, Nikki Ballou. And I was like, I felt this feeling of like, I want to call this guy. Even though it wasn't like a big name, called him. Turns out my uncle's partner helped him in his wife's marriage. Like it was like a weird coincidence. Because I called, reached some secretary, he called me back. And what I've learned over time is like, just go for the things that you feel like if you have a weird sense, just do it. Because like usually something will happen from it.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. And it's kind of similar to like what our previous guest said, Nick Spina, how he just randomly walked by like a Chinese restaurant or a Thai restaurant. And he was like, oh, like, I wonder if they're going to rent out the kitchen. And that's what he said, Live Fit Foods. It's just, you have that gut feeling. You have to act on it. You know what I mean? You can't ignore it. Because I think this too, like God will put signs in front of you and it's up to you to grab them. But they'll be flying through you. If you don't grab them, your whole life, you'll see all these opportunities, all these signs, and you're just going to not take them, right?
Take action.
Yeah. So from there, is it like how did you get into painting, bro? Because like chickens. Wait, I want to talk about the dog food stuff first, bro.
Okay.
That's crazy.
And this is Pond Mills too. We didn't like get
this is Pond Mills, Southdale, Pond Mills, Taza Market. You guys know.
I'm from there too.
Well, before the dog food, it's kind of in the middle. Like I said to the boss, like I want to make commission. Like I want to sell. So he's like, all right. He's like, okay, you can get, and I think he's like 2% or some shit. And I was like, okay. It's like stupid, like a cent, a pound or whatever it would be. I was like, okay, I'm gonna create these butcher bundles. So I call it the butcher box. there's already a company called Butcher Box. So I like call it something different. It's like has a butcher fucking bag. Right?
The idea was there. The idea.
So I like packed these boxes, and I remember I was getting $10 a box if I sold it. And I was like all over Instagram. If you even like looked at my old stories, you could see I was like blasting the boxes. Was kind of selling that, but I would get people to post on their story after, and that's when I started like, and then I built a website for him like on Wix. Like I was just learning as I was going, and he wasn't paying me for like this extra stuff. I'd be at home building the website because I want to drive sales to me. And at that time I was learning how to do it, and like he was just letting me do whatever I wanted, which is one thing I learned from him is like he just let me do what I wanted with his business, not to be overstepping, but he's like, you want to work on these things, go work on them.
Sure.
I'm not gonna pay you for it, just go do whatever you want. And so I was learning, but through that, I realized there's a lot of scrap meat, and there's like chicken carcasses. When you bone out a chicken, take off the leg quarters, there's like the carcass thing. And he had a big ass grinder from Italy in the back, and it was like, man, we're throwing a lot of meat out. So we started grinding it, and we're spits out this fucking gunk. Put blueberries and stuff, and then it's raw dog food, gluten free, organic, like all the things, right? So I started cold calling dog breeders, like, selling, and it's actually a business. Like that actually is a business that you could, if you committed to. I remember I got some cool connects, and I was like really thinking, I was like, I had like on my vision board $5 million dog food company, then I'm gonna sell it. That's when I started getting into the kind of business mindset. Didn't work out at all. I was going door to door trying to sell these things.
That's wild, bro.
And that's when I started learning about door to door. I had headphones in, listening to music, pausing it, going to a door, and just so like not like how you do it. Like,
at that time, what do you think was driving you, bro? Because like that's not regular for someone that young to just be like, I need it, I want it.
It wasn't even like I wanted it. It was like I wanted to escape something. Like I was like felt so behind and so not living up to what I could be doing. Like I felt like I was doing wrong by not trying harder. Like I was like, I need to figure this out.
Where do you think that comes from?
I don't know, man.
Do you feel like you're running away from your old self almost in a way?
Maybe. I just was like, I got to figure this out. I don't know. I know I didn't want to. I knew I didn't want to just live. I could never imagine myself just like, I don't know, just living the life, like the boring life kind of thing. Like that everyone says, like you don't want to live that life, whatever. Like some people do live that life, and that's totally fair. I just couldn't visually see it, and I felt like if I did what everyone else was doing, I would end up there and then be fucking miserable, really miserable. So I was like, I gotta do things now. But it wasn't ever from a place of like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to build this. It was just like I was running away or something.
Did you have like a role model at that time? Or did you see someone that was doing it that made you think that way? Or?
It was the YouTube guys. It was just going on YouTube. Because like through the books, getting into self-development, and then I got Elliot Hulse in my ear. I got, there's other guys too, but Elliot Hulse actually want to remember. Like, do you guys know Elliot Hulse?
Yeah. The old lady. Yeah, strength camp.
Be the strongest. Like he's like, I make men strong again or some shit. He's be the strongest version of yourself.
It was crazy because I got into him like back in high school on Facebook when he was really big on Facebook, and then that's when I started seeing him on Instagram, and like him going from like a big like bodybuilder, not even bodybuilder, but like just like a strength type coach, as you said.
Yeah.
And then now a family man to now inspiring men to be better men. The craziest.
Dude, I loved his transition. It was like, it was a transition. Elliot Halsey. So he went, strong man, power lifter, and then getting into like more philosophy and how the body holds trauma and like doing these stretches to like release like, it was really cool. And then he got into like, he started smoking weed, got kind of feminine, got like more into like feelings and stuff. And he kind of like says, he's like, don't go that way, but he did. And I kind of went like, I don't know, I kind of went around that area. I used to smoke a lot of weed and like, it was like kind of slowing me down. I stopped that. There's a lot of things that kind of with what he was doing was helping me a lot. Cause I was like, you could be strong, you could be masculine, and you can also have a curious side of the arts and philosophy and thoughts. Yeah. You know, you don't have to just be one way. So yeah, I loved his shit. That's why I listened to a lot. I think that was one thing too, clawing at me, but it was just this thing of like, there's some days gonna come where you didn't do what you wanted to. Like it actually will come. You'll have regrets, and I just didn't want to have it.
That's the scariest thing, bro.
Scary, man. I just didn't want to have it, and I still like. I'm wondering, like, I feel more confident now in my path. It's like there's some momentum there.
You finally got like the traction in the wheels.
Yeah, there's
now,
something
like,
going on for sure, but it's still like. You know, I used to rap a lot. Like I used to make rap music.
No,
I would always doubt myself, and I also thought, am I just doing this for ego? Do I just want to be famous? Like all these thoughts, right? So that there's just a lot.
It makes sense though, because you said you naturally like the arts, and like arts is music, like physical art. It's like
writing,
it's like
too.
creating. It's like acting, and like that's sick because at the end of the day, like you still are that person. Yeah, it's not like you're forgetting about that person. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like it still holds onto you, like being masculine and being a man as well. Yeah, which is important, I think.
It's very important nowadays, for sure.
Yeah. Especially nowadays, bro.
Yeah,
especially nowadays, 100%. But yeah, let's get into the painting side of it, though.
Yeah. So my brother's a barber at Tantrum Salon. If you guys want to cut, barber. Tantrum Salon. James the barber. No, but he was cutting the hair of a lot of guys that worked at with Student Works, and it's like it's a franchise where they take students that want to grow a business, they teach them the skills and the systems, and then they go and run their first business in the summer.
Is that when you were at King's?
That's when I was at King's, but I just dropped out with I was like thinking dropping out. I just stopped going to school, really.
Yeah.
Anyway,
not to bounce from that though, but like how did your family take it when you stopped going to school? Like was that a tough like transition?
No, not at all.
Not at all, eh?
No, they didn't really know what I was doing. Like, mom was like, do whatever you want, kind of thing. My mom was just like, if you're working hard and you're happy, like she always like was just like, you can do it.
That's important, you bro. Can do it. You had the support.
My dad too. I had really good support.
That's amazing.
That is one big thing for sure. I had really good support. My dad's done like a lot of cool stuff too, so he was always like, yeah, if you want to go to school, you can. Like if you don't want to, that's okay too. He didn't go to school, so he's like.
So do you think them having like that background of like being entrepreneurs or whatever they do, that kind of allowed you to flourish in the way you did?
I think subconsciously my dad doing what he did and seeing his bus signs everywhere and probably feeling like I got to live up to it. I never really had that thought of I have to live up to his expectations, because he never really set these expectations of like, you need to surpass me. Like he never put the pressure on me, but probably subconsciously, if I were to look deep enough, probably that was one of the things, maybe.
Yeah.
But going back to that, my brother was cutting hair. He's like, these guys always show up on time. They have like really good integrity. They talk well. They're smart. They dress nice. He's like, you're doing your ice bath stuff. Like who knows what's going to happen, but you're looking for something. And I was looking for something, a dog food in the ice bath. I'm trying to find what I wanted to do. He's like, go to this franchise and just see what happens. These guys are talking big numbers. So that's when I got into the Student Painters franchise. Yeah. Remember I came in so you mentioned I did $1 million my first year. Not necessarily. It was like my first year was $500K. So I came into the business, which is good, which is really good still. But not $1 million. That would be crazy, bro. Someone will do it someday for sure, like in that franchise. But before, the record was 225. Our first year operated 225,000 in the summer, right? You used to have a summer to do it in revenue. And I came in and I set the goal. I was reading all the books, Think and Grow Rich. I wrote my goal out. I want to book 300K in work. I put it on my ceiling so I could see it every morning, read it, keep myself accountable, all that. They wouldn't let me set the goal of 300K.
Why?
So our system doesn't allow that number to be put in. We have to set it at 150, and then when you hit that, then we can up your goal. I guess it's to stop people from like thinking they're all that and having their ego and setting these big goals. And I was like, no. Oh, you can put whatever you want down. My goal is 300K.
Yeah.
And see, that would deter a lot of people. And that's what I started learning in my own business. When I set goals with my leaders, they're like, I want to make $100,000. It's their first year. I'm like, fucking right, let's make 120. Let's go. Like, why would I shut you down on your goal? Anyway, exceeded it. And they're like, oh, fuck.
What did they say when you made 300K and the systems couldn't handle it?
I did 300K in the first like month and a half because I was already knocking on doors before they let anyone knock on doors. I was in the wrong turf knocking on, like, different turfs and franchises.
Yeah.
I gave all the leads to, it was actually my roommate, Nick Fenn at the time. I was like, yo, sorry, my bad. But I was just so hungry.
Yeah.
So hungry because I really wanted to do it. And now I felt like I had a community where before I was so alone, like doing like reading the books alone, doing ice bath alone, whatever. Yeah. Now I was like, oh, like other people could see me, like, you know, kind of ego, but I was like, other people see me, like, you want to be seen. And so that motivated me to just go for it.
And look, when you're knocking at the doors at a time, like, did you have a script? Do you know what you're going to say?
They taught me so much. Like, I could, even though they sued me after, like, get into that.
We're going to get into that.
And I made some big mistakes. Like, you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
They taught me so much. So, like, I would still, to this day, if someone's looking to start a business, don't go there. Just come to me, and I'll teach you the system. But no, they taught me a lot. And there's a certain politics involved and like the vaccine and things that I didn't do that they kind of wanted, and that started creating friction. So it was already kind of getting on it was going a weird direction. Like I didn't go on their like performer trip where like if you do over 100K they buy you a trip.
But you have to be vaccinated.
You have to be vaccinated to go, even though it wasn't a requirement at the time. I did 500K and they charged me for it because they got me it, and I said I can't go, so they billed me for the room. And I'm like, okay, this is how it is. And I was paying like 25-30% royalty. Right? It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I had to leave. So then after second year.
Yeah, I guess we might as well stick with that though, like that topic, honestly, because it's super interesting. Because like you have a bunch of adults who are making students, entrepreneurs and business owners, but they kind of feel threatened at that point, right? When you're making $300,000, like they're like, oh, we didn't think this was possible. Yeah. So how are you able to like deal with that, bro?
I remember the guy owner of the company, Chris, weapon. He's an awesome guy. Like, he's a great guy, and he was always like pumping me up and like calling me to give me appreciation. I felt super like happy to be there in the community still, because like they allowed me to talk, and I would always talk about mindset and like setting big goals and like go knock on the door, like do the thing. Yeah. And that allowed me to like start creating this internal identity of like I can pump people up too.
They fumbled the bag
100%, bro.
They fumbled the bag.
But even too, bro.
That's crazy, bro. Like, I would have saw the opportunity back, yo, I'm keeping you here forever. You know what I mean? But they just fumbled.
Yeah, and it's crazy. But, like, I think that bag needed to be fumbled for him to literally now, it's like, okay, finally, like, you have all the skills. You built everything there. Now,
I fumbled the bag, too. I'll be honest. I did. Like, so second year,
into it?
Second year, I ran the business again. I brought out one of my roommates, Mark, on the business. I taught him everything about sales, everything. He sold 500K. I sold another 500K. Basically, the numbers are a little different, but we did $1 million. Yeah. So we did $1 million that year, and they've never seen that. This is a student franchise, bro. The average student does 80K in a summer. We did $1 million. So, and they were making money off us, dude. They're making rip 20% right? It's 200K, boom, cash. Wow. So anyway, so then after I did that, we did 500K, we did $1 million, and then I was like, hey, I want to do 2 million. So I shared that with him on a podcast. I'm like, next year I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do 2 million. But then people started getting in my ear. They're like, dude, you're gonna go back again? Like, you can go on your own. And I'm like, but there's this non-compete I signed. They're like, that doesn't stand up in court, whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, got people in my ear, family and this, and I'm like also thinking, it makes sense. Like 200K is a lot of money. I'm not thinking like it's a lot of money because I'm thinking millions and stuff. It's like your brain kind of shifts. I was like, still, 200 grand is a lot of fucking money, especially profit. Like I'm just going to them. And I learned the systems now. So I went to Thailand. I had fun. I brought Mark. We had like a nice work trip, and then came back, and I was really thinking. I was like, I already signed back. I signed the contract. It's like December 31st. The year's about to start January. And I'm like, it's like itching me. And I'm like, when I picked up the phone, I called Chris, and I was like, I'm not going to come back. Yeah. And I'm still going to run my business. And I told him, I'm going to keep running my business. I'm like, I'm happy to tell people that ask that Mark's really running it and I'm more focused on coaching. But like, I'm going to keep running it. I wanted to get his blessing. I said, I'll give you I had a production manager at the time. That was another guy. I was like, I'll give you him. He's fully trained. He can run my turf. I'll give you like a lump sum of money to buy out of this contract. And we kind of had an agreement. It wasn't like verbal. It wasn't written in stone. I acted quickly too, so I made my own mistakes. I went against the agreement. I went against my word. I did, and that's what happens.
How long was the contract for?
It was 10 months. So anyway, they sued me for $500,000.
Okay.
Which to a lot of people,
that's everything.
Yeah. 500,000 is wild, brother.
I'm like doing a touch up on this funeral home that we painted. I'd like scrape some paint off it, like a little drip or something. And this guy calls me. He's like, hey, I have a letter for you.
Oh, you're getting served.
I'm like, am I getting served?
An affidavit.
And he's like, yeah, you're getting served. I'm like, all right. Like, this is my location. I just texted him. I sent my location. And he showed up, and I was with my new production manager I was training at the time. Yeah. And I'm like, Joe, film this. And so Joe films on Snapchat, and it's like me getting my first served. And I was like, Like fucking, you know what? At least you're doing something, right? If you're getting served, you're probably doing something. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe not good or bad. But you're doing something. You're making a move in some way. Anyway, learned a lot from that situation. Huge lawsuit, tons of bullshit back and forth. But we still doubled our business again during that whole process. So yeah, a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, but how are you like when that first happens, like do you feel defeated? Do you feel like you need to get back? Like what are you going through at that time?
My heart was beating. But I was grateful. Like I was genuinely grateful. When I got my van stolen, I felt gratitude because I was like, this is cool. This is a cool story.
Yeah.
When I got served, I was like, I'm going to be okay. I have the skills now to run a business, regardless if I got to forfeit everything with 519 or we start another one. So during that time when I got served, I was like, hey, and then Amar actually came with me with a deal. Yeah. He's like, I got this painting business they're going to sell, this other company. So I was like, okay, let's buy that. So we bought another company thinking that if they're going to take our company under, we're going to smooth everything over this one. And now 519 is the Trojan horse. Yeah. That was like things I was thinking. I was like, how do I, but at the end of the day, I should have done it better. You know, at the end of the day, I should have told them sooner. I should have said what I said. And sometimes we wait because we don't want to have that hard conversation. Yeah. And then you just make it worse.
Yeah. Cause it's too late.
Yeah. So it's like I learned a lot from the franchise, even though I got sued and everything and paid the money. Like I didn't pay him $500K. That was just a number to scare me.
Right?
Yeah.
I settled it and I was happy with what I settled it with because I felt like, they can still keep the principle of you shouldn't leave. Because you shouldn't, man. You shouldn't learn the systems and go do your own thing. It's kind of a dick move. And I realize it. But
that's rare though, man. Like for you to take full accountability of that though, because you can have like another version of you being here, being like, yeah, like screw them. Like I kept on going, But no, you're like, I should have done this, and I learned from my lesson. I think that's the most valuable piece of what you're saying here. It's like you're taking accountability for it, bro, and that's rare.
And that's how you derive value of the shit you go through. Because if I were to sit here and be like, no, like, and I don't take anything from it, it's like, hey, you got to take something from the X amount that you just settled for. Like that's a large chunk of cash.
Yeah.
So how can you make that valuable? It's like, well, like let's reflect on my own mistakes so I can actually take something from it. Just like we were saying earlier with like when you guys did a podcast in Toronto and they didn't show up and you spent $200 to get out there, but then that $200 that you spent and you lost, it's not even a loss because now you learned to make systems in place so that doesn't happen again. So the $200 went towards building your systems.
So do you always take like quote unquote those L's as lessons? Like is that something that's always been natural?
Need to, bro. Yeah. Or else what? You're gonna be complaining?
Yeah, crying in bed.
Yeah, you take it. Boom. You spent. Even if you buy something, and that's why I'm like a little bit more lenient with what I spend my money on. If it's like self-development or a course or something, I'll pay for it. Like I've spent tons of money on courses because I'm like, even if I don't get something from it, like I might learn, and I haven't had this yet, but I might learn that, hey, you shouldn't spend so much money. Okay, that's a new lesson. That might save me how much money that I didn't spend now because I learned that I shouldn't spend more money. Like whatever. Like I'll always find the value out of what I'm doing. Yeah, I think we all will if we just look at it because it's there. Yeah, the value's in the mistake or in what you gain, but it's always there.
Yeah, so 100% agree on that.
And that's just a shift mindset.
You just can't go wrong. Yeah, you know? And then that's when you start living without being apologetic. Like I literally just can't go wrong. Yeah. I can knock on a door and get the cops called on me, and I'll pitch the cop. Like you can't go wrong.
Yeah. So when you created 519 Painting, like how did you start that? Like how were you like, okay, I want to start this. I want to build a team. Like was that hard?
Yeah. So, I could go back. So basically I got a little bit creative. So with the franchise, you were supposed to call yourself like Student Painters of London or Student Painters of this. I was like, I'm going to call myself 519 Painters. So then if I do, cause I already had this, I knew I was going to leave at some point. I was like, when I do leave, I can just stay 519 Painters. Like I don't need to be the student because I don't want to be a student painter. Who trusts a fucking student painter? I don't know how he sold work like that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's going to be $20,000. And I'm going to have my sister paint. That's music class.
Yeah. Well, even too, it's like, especially now, it's like, it's way harder. Especially like realistically, the people who are getting those jobs, usually immigrants, right? It's not going to be like the people where you can communicate, and then now it's like, now I have trust with somebody I don't have the barrier to speak with.
Or people just find the cheapest labor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and like Student Works is like, they're like the most expensive, or like they're really expensive, and they hire students that don't know what they're doing. So it's crazy that we sold work like that. Because I was hiring students, and it was shit show at the beginning, man. I was like, I need 20 painters. And I was like, you want to paint? No, that's okay, I'll teach you. I'm like, I don't even know how to paint. Right? Anyway, that's how it started. But then over time, I started getting more into like, developing businesses, learning systems, getting more into like reading like the business books now, not just the mindset books. And then that's when
what were some of the biggest business books that you read that kind of led you in that direction?
I guess they are mindset books. I was going to say like How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Oh, that's a sick.
Great book. I guess I didn't really get into like the systems business books, so to say. Like there was like Traction, which is one. It's a business
another
system.
one.
Yeah, it's good.
So
Great
SOPs, KPIs,
totally.
all that shit.
But even then, is like the franchise did teach me a lot. Like they're already doing it. They do like 30 mil a year. Like they know what they're doing.
So you would say like kind of the franchise kind of taught you all the nitty gritty.
Yeah, the nitty gritty. And then it's at the end of the day, you gotta apply it.
Yeah,
you just gotta do it.
Yeah.
Like I would go door to door every day for at least 3 hours a day every day.
Yeah.
No matter what, every day.
And how did you select your team, or how did you know that you had to like get this person on board, this person on board? Like, was that a tough process?
Yeah, it's a tough process. Like you want to hire in the preseason. So like right now, like if let's say for your cleaning business, you got a lot of work lined up for spring or whatever the case may be. You want to be hiring now.
Yeah.
You want to find those guys that, and you just tell them. You don't say, hey, the position doesn't start yet, but it will start. Just always ABH, always be hiring. So I always had job ads up, doing my screening calls, doing my final interviews. But the gems, we got a burp.
Yeah.
The gems that the gems that I had that came into the business, it was because there was an attraction. It wasn't me looking for them. It was like, yo, I love that you're posting about mindset. I like that you're working out. I like that you're posting this book. You're being vulnerable in your stories, whatever it may be. Like I want to do what you're doing.
So in a weird way, like you sold yourself through like social media and through like
just
brand. Posting what you do.
I didn't even know I was building a brand, but I was just like went for a run today, and it was like a decently sized run or whatever it might be.
You motivated them in a way where it brought you guys together.
Yeah, and I was like trying to build men's group on Facebook. I was always trying to do something.
Yeah,
starting to garden. I was just gardening for a bit, like posting about gardening.
Green thumb,
like, you know, whatever. I don't know. We had this spot that we were renting, and there's a big garden in the back. So like, throw zucchinis and shit. and yeah, I started bringing like-minded people involved. And it's like one thing I was thinking lately is, and it's like if you can allow someone to reach their own potential in your business, that you're gonna be so successful as a business owner. Because I remember when I was always in companies working part-time, like I never felt like I was achieving my potential. So I was always planning my escape because I didn't see my potential in the company. But if you have a boss that approaches you and he's like, hey, like how much money do you want to make? Like what do you want your life to look like? Well, I want to make like 100 grand. It's like I can help you get there.
Yeah.
Are you willing to learn these things? Like I'll help you. We could build this together. We could do this together. Then it's like they feel like the whole world opens up.
Yeah.
And then they want to stay because you help guide them and they deliver for you to deliver for them.
Do you feel like how do you tap into that? Like if you were to give some advice, like do you give them the vision, the end goal, or like how do you tap into someone like being like, okay, I want to do this because I feel like I'm reaching my potential?
Yeah, first you got to find the right person, because there's a lot of people talk the talk, but there's some guys that are like I call them dogs. Like you'll find like the dog that's like willing, like I will do whatever it takes. I'll knock on the doors. I'll do whatever you tell me. I'll just do it. I just want to make more money and I want to escape where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like we had a guy that was working at FedEx and he's like, I really want to make more money. And I was like, okay, like are you willing to do these things? He's like, yes. So then we sat down. We had a meeting for like 4 hours where I went over his core values. I asked him questions about who he looks up to. Actually asked questions about who he despises. All those kind of things. A long ass meeting. We have a little calculator that shows how many doors do you have to knock on to sell a job. Okay, then we look at the whole year. What does that look like every day from now on? Just like actually set the expectation of like, if you want to do this is what you're gonna have to do. Get them to sign the contract, set a comp plan, and you launch them. It's like a launch meeting.
Man, those systems are crazy.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, like those are really,
integration.
like,
Yeah,
like,
you integrate them in and you just send them off.
yeah, but those systems though, like that background, like you know what I mean, like you 4-hour meeting, and then you tell them, okay, this is how the formula to like how much sales you're gonna close when you knock on doors. Like where does that come from? The painting, like the old student painting business.
Yeah,
like
some of that for sure, totally.
Yeah.
And then also just learning. I took other courses too. I was
Yeah,
always
yeah.
doing courses, and like, you know, how would you want to be launched as a new person in the company? Would you want someone to give you SOP and be like, do this, or you want someone to sit down with you and be like, I want to learn who you are. Tell me about your past. Tell me about what you want to see. How is your relationship with your dad, your mom? Who do you look up to? All those questions are so important because you get to learn the person. Like there's like tears shared in these meetings. It's like really important, and they trust you as a leader. Like, okay, I fucking trust this guy. Like, and it's like, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna keep you accountable. I'm gonna be hard on you too, so you got to be ready for that.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to like put in the work? And a lot of times like, yeah, let's do it. And you start the year off strong. Like, I'm gonna redo these meetings in January with my team, start them off strong, and then you just keep them accountable. I'll make their calendar with them. I'll say, this is when you go door to door, this is when you're doing your estimates, this is when you're cold calling commercial clients, this is everything. You're only getting commission. You don't make hourly with here. If you want to make hourly, go work at fucking somewhere else, Subway or whatever. You make commission, and we close big deals here. Like, you can make 100K. I absolutely believe it. You just have to do the things I'm saying and come to me for coaching. And that's both times I've done the max meeting. I did it with Mark and with Joe. They both made over 120K.
Yeah.
Both of them in their first year, making 50K. Another guy's working at FedEx.
Yeah.
It works, bro. You gotta find the right people.
Yeah.
It's not everyone that you do is sit down 4 hours.
Joe's my neighbor. I see him rolling a new truck.
Joe crushed it.
I
Joe
love
crushed
it.
I sat down with all the painters and I was like, what do you think of Joe? They're like, He's a G. He's a leader. He shows up. He's humble. He's always willing to learn. That's the people you want to find. Same with Mark. Like, you also get lucky in life too. Like, even Patrick Bet David in an interview, he's like, one good interview question to ask people is like, do you believe in luck? And some people say, nah, I don't believe in luck because I make everything myself. Or do you believe you're lucky? That was the question. And I see both sides, but I believe I'm lucky. I believe I will get the fortunate situation. And that's a good mindset to have because I'll probably attract.
Do you feel
that.
like you create your own luck?
You have to.
Absolutely, you create your own luck for sure. But I also think that if I like lost my wallet, I'll probably find it. Like I have that belief, and I want people in my circle that have that belief. That's like, life's not against me. I'm actually like, for some reason, it works out.
Like I'm in control of what's happening, what's gonna happen. Like,
and even if you're not in control, it just works out. Shit just works out. Like, if my van's stolen, it'll come back. Like, it just works out.
Yeah.
You know, I like, that's what PBD was saying. So that's like, I feel like the guys that are around the business, they have the same mindset where like they can dream and not hold themselves back from the dream.
Okay, so bro, how many vans have you had stolen?
Like, it's a chirp. One actually, just multiple times. So it was the first year of business. I just fired my production manager, and I was now taking responsibility of all my crews again. So I was just kind of like back in the thick of it. Yeah. Wake up in the morning, 6 a.m. I got all my paint loaded up. I got my ladders on top of the van. I got everything good to go. I even like Velcroed these like shelves on the floor because I didn't know how to build them. And it's like these pull-out plastic like, you know, shelves. Yeah. With all the shit, paint, everything loaded up. I'm like super happy because I finally got all cleaned up. Yeah. It's gone. Wake up in the morning. I'm like, bro. Jeez. My heart's beating, and I'm like, oh fuck! And I knew right away it's gone.
Where were you?
Yeah. It was in the back of my house. I was renting with like 5 other guys.
In Putnam?
No, this was now already moved since then. So now I'm living on 190 Oxford Street. That's a history house. Yeah, a history house. Almost everyone's running a business in there. Yeah, but we were all kind of like doing whatever, like downtown, like having fun. So it was just a really good mix. But yeah, woke up, car's gone. I don't have insurance.
Jeez.
No insurance. I feel like an idiot.
That's tough. Yeah.
I could have got insurance. Because I just bought it recently. And I just didn't get it because I just didn't care for it. You know?
Yeah.
Fuck. Why did I? So I called the police. They're like, do you have first question? Like, what's your insurance thing or whatever? I'm like, oh yeah, just like and I just like hung up. I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do here? Yeah. So post on Facebook, big post. This is the picture. This is the description. You'll see this, whatever. And then people start sharing it. And I went message people, share this shit. All of a sudden, it kind of becomes this like story on Facebook. Yeah. Put that to the side. I had to use my old Civic. It's got a fucking spare tire on it. Still my other winters on it. One roof rack broken, and I had to use a 40-foot ladder that day. So I'm like holding it through the sunroof, like holding it. I'd already attached to my one roof rack, but I needed to hold it. And we still got it done.
So the show goes on. Show goes on.
Yeah, and I called one of my boys. I'm like, bro, show goes on. And during that day, my mindset started shifting from victim mode to like, dude, it's your fault. And then also like, this is kind of dope. Like, you're still like doing it, right? And this is gonna be a sick story because at the end of the day, it's not supposed to be everything's supposed to be good. Yeah. Or else if it was, it'd be boring. I wouldn't even be talking right now about it. We'd be talking about fucking stupid shit. Yeah. So it's like things have to go wrong. So anyway, let's get it done. We got it done. Things happen. Whatever. The story's like circling on Facebook. At some point, someone posts, "Hey, I see these guys about to spray paint. They're like masking off this van about to spray paint it." And it was by the Marconi Club in London. Jeez, the East End. I'm driving out there. Someone shared me. I'm going. Van's gone by then. But then someone shared it, and then they found it on the highway. Ended up, these guys got arrested in Strathroy by an AMW. They were throwing out paint cans out of the back. These guys got arrested, whatever, got the van back. It was put in this compound thing, and then you got to pay overnight every time it's there. So I come pay fucking $500. The van's worth $500. I'm like, I almost was like, you guys keep it. Yeah. So I took the van home. Open it up. All my tools are gone, but they were about to spray paint it, so I got a new paint sprayer. Like, oh, sick. New DeWalt drill, Sawzall. Like, I got all these tools. You guys were like probably breaking into shit and whatever, up to mischief. But there's also like porno tapes, morphine or whatever, needles of shit.
What a rowdy mix, eh?
Right?
Morphine needles, porno, some tools.
Whatever they're up
to, man.
System, dirty mics and boys, right? And like counterfeit Chinese money and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going through with gloves with my boys. We're like, we're keeping the good shit. Like, pair of Ray-Bans. Like, bro, throw it out. Like, don't. We clean it all out. And that's it. That's a wrap. That's the van. That's the story. Until a year later, I give the keys to my production manager at the time. He's like, I got it. But bro, Dodge Caravans are the easiest to jack. Yeah. All you need to do is if you open up the door, even if you don't have the keys, you put a screwdriver in there, you're hitting it.
And just crank it.
You're cranking it. Yeah. So I gave it to him and he got it stolen. Literally like a year later, like in the same week. Like it was weird.
Do you have insurance at that time?
No.
Still no.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I got had.
I was gonna say you're rowdy.
I could have done that. Would have been too much.
Would have been a punchline right there.
Yeah, no. So that got stolen again. The second time, I was pretty upset, but I was also trying to understand that at the end of the day, like the same thing happened to me. I'd be kind of a hypocrite if I got super mad at him.
Yeah,
I was pretty cheesed.
Yeah,
I was still pretty cheesed.
Of course, yeah.
Just because I think it could have been avoided. And
did you go off?
I went off like a 2 weeks later. It was like pending.
Yeah.
Finally, we're on its site, and I'm like, bro, I don't feel like you even like apologize for it.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted him to be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, kind of it was all me, man. It was my fault. But same thing. Facebook stories.
Yeah.
Boom, got it back, and we still have it to this day. So we got the van.
That's dope.
It's our historic van, bro. We don't even want to like fix the rust. We don't want to fix anything because that's just the van.
That's
right?
a fucking landmark right there.
Yeah, the only branding on it is like our finger painted 519. Like one time, just jokes with my buddy because we were at a site. But that's the van, man. It's a historic van. So anyway, he got the van stolen. So I gave him my truck. I was like, because I'm not on production right now. I was like trying to delegate as much as possible. So I was like, all right, just take my truck. You got it. Truck stolen.
Damn.
Week later.
Damn.
Same parking lot. This time he left the spares in it. So that was his fault. I was really pissed off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he told me later, he's like, dude, that was the most difficult phone call I had to ever make. He's like, I saw the parking lot. I'm like,
yeah.
And then it's brought us closer. When you mess up together and you realize you're just human and we're just like, oh, we're just, you know.
You're both going through it. You both feel sick.
Did he call you right away?
Too. What?
I'm assuming he called you right away.
He called me right away. He called me in the parking lot. He's like, Gio. I'm like, what happened? Because I just hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
It was funny because I was just at a gala that night giving the speech about the van and saying it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shout out to the crackhead that stole my van. Fucking making it funny, joke out of it. And the next morning he's like, by the way, bro, our trucks got stolen too. I'm like, oh.
Fuck.
Yeah. So they actually got that one back too, but it was in the same compound. And they were charging me like $800 for it. The frame was already busted in half. We shouldn't have been driving the thing. So I was like, you guys keep it. And I just didn't even take it back.
Yeah, you just left it.
I just left it in the compound.
Yeah.
Well,
So fuck, I guess what are you doing now to prevent this shit, bro?
Apple AirTags?
Apple AirTags on the ladders, on the vans.
Yeah, lock the steering wheels or something.
We put a steering wheel lock. We do have it on lock.
Yeah.
But it's just like London's getting ghetto, bro. Even
It is, bro.
Even this
It is,
area I was
man.
walking around, I was like, I'm gonna take my gym bag out of here just in case they think something's
Yeah,
missing.
and bro, I had a Airbnb guest the other day, and like Joe's my neighbor, right? And then the plates got stolen from my Airbnb guest truck and Joe's truck.
And Joe's truck.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck, man, like what's London becoming?
What does that
bro?
do?
Yeah,
Like, what are they gonna make money on that?
I know, and well, they put it probably on stolen trucks, but
vehicles
like,
in your mind, right?
and then like my Airbnb guests went to like obviously the city of London, Ontario. What is it? Service Ontario.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, this is like the fucking 15th person that came to stay.
Well, even
And it's just
too,
like, wow.
I think like we were talking about it the other day. It's like I think this year is the most stolen cars by far ever. Well, even too, did you not see like in Toronto, everybody's getting their cars
Everybody,
stolen.
bro.
Like there were the two
Everybody.
Rolls Royce cars that got stolen, and then they got tracked going towards Montreal towards the harbor. So it's
Crazy,
like,
man.
it's something normal now.
I feel like the average Joe businessman is gonna fucking take that and just be like, we lost.
Yeah, we lost, and now I can't go door to door.
Yeah,
And now my
like-
business crumbles, and it's all their
Yeah.
fault. It's like, that's why you're not gonna be successful.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
What other obstacles have you had to face other than the vans being stolen? Like, is there any other thing that you're like, fuck, like?
Yeah, like even back to the lawsuit thing. Like you're going through lawsuit, you got cross examinations, you got all this stuff, you got all this stress going on. Plus you got 24 employees. You're trying to run your team and lead your managers, and you're trying to acquire new business. They end up running away with our money because my partner had to buy the business because I got sued personally and my corp. So I gave him $40K because there's only $40K for this business to go buy this other company. But then they ran away with the money and then told other employees not to work for us. And then they try to sue us because they're like, you didn't tell us about your lawsuit. And it's like fucking crazy.
Did you feel like that was karma in a way from like your
Totally.
Like, yeah.
I started thinking. I was like, you know what? This is it's the rubber band, bro. I pulled it back. I snapped it. I'm getting hit.
And it's come back
Yeah.
at you again.
And I was just trying to take as much as I could. I was like, hey, the money I'm gonna settle for this lawsuit is gonna be in my law degree. I'm gonna learn all about law. I'm gonna learn about what to say. I say this without prejudice. Like I'm gonna learn all the words.
Yeah.
I might as well. And then same with the business. Like I'll learn how to acquire better. I'll learn how to structure a better contract. I'll not hire that lawyer that I had because he was like super old and cheap, and I'm gonna pay more for a better lawyer to read it. It's all this stuff, right? You learn.
Do you think the price for work correlates? So if you're gonna pay someone cheap, you're gonna get cheap work. If you pay someone a little more, you're gonna get better work.
Usually, unless they don't know their value yet, and you get them at the beginning, and they're like Harmozy, he's like, I'll work for free, and but he worked for free, so he's gonna like find the odd one. But yeah, I think so for sure.
Has anyone come up to you like and wanted to work for free?
No, but almost commission is that in a sense, because they're not like, look, pay me for my time. They're like, I'll learn for free, in a sense, and then whatever I kill, I'll just get paid for. That's what commission is. So, and that's the kind of guys I want to find.
Yeah.
So I'm like, look, I could pay you hourly. I'm not going to, but I could pay you hourly, and you're gonna make less than if you just go on commission and just actually just like do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you know you're gonna be successful, why not get paid for your success versus me just paying you to stay around?
Yeah.
You know.
Do you find? Oh,
No, go ahead, brother.
I was just gonna say, do you find age is a factor when you're trying to hire people? Like that dog you're looking for, is it younger
Yeah,
or
it's younger.
Yeah, oh
Usually
yeah.
younger. They're usually younger. They don't have much going for them. They're like, they're not at a point where life's beating them down. They like are like hopeless or like pessimistic.
Yeah.
And they're usually at a point where they're like still ripe. They're coming to out of university. Maybe they were playing sports or like they had these like dreams that are kind of stagnant, and they're like, ooh, like I need to do something soon.
Yeah.
And then you come along and you're like, okay, let's go. Because I actually see my painting business. Dude, I see painting and like the trades as just a vehicle for self-development and leadership, where it's like, this is my painting business. Absolutely, we're gonna paint houses. We're gonna do a really good job. But my main focus as the owner is I want to develop leaders inside my company.
Yeah.
That's it. Where it's like, I'm going to teach you, we're going to go to the gym. We're going to wear nice cologne. We're going to get nice clothes.
Yeah.
We're going to become who we want to be.
It's like a football coach.
Yeah.
You're making that impact on someone.
Because you guys do well off of results-based pay. I'll do well too.
Yeah.
But I'm more interested in like you guys doing well.
Yeah.
Remember you were talking earlier where it's like, there's two frames as a business owner to have a goal. I could say, okay, my goal this year is to do 4 million in revenue. Or my goal this year is to make you guys 100K each with your commission structure. And if I could shift it that way, then it's like, one, they feel way more invested in what I have to say. I feel way more invested in what they're doing. And the byproduct is that number anyway, but I'm not stuck on this. That's just a fictional thing. This is real. So that's what I found works best for leaders is like create a win-win environment where if they do the thing that they need to do to excel your company forward, they get rewards, and then your company gets rewards.
I feel like you have to be that person though. You can't just be a business pitching that. You actually have to be the person who wants to see them grow.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like where does that come from with you? Like to inspire others?
I think compassion on like where I was before, because I do like when you said like you're kind of younger, 19, thinking about these things. I do see that some guys in their 24 now, they just leave university, they're thinking these things now, and I feel it. I'm like, you
experienced it,
dude. I totally see where you're coming from. It's scary, bro. You don't know what you're doing. You watch on Instagram, all these guys are crushing.
Yeah.
Fuck, what am I doing? I was like, let's do it together. You know, I got some systems. I'm still fucking learning.
Yeah.
But I can help you make at least 6 figures.
Yeah.
So let's work together.
Yeah. Where's 509 Painting right now?
509 Painting is we did 2 mil this year, a little bit over. We're got really good teams. We dialed in on the really good painters. So we got really good painters.
Yeah.
So we don't gotta keep hiring every year. Like we got guys that are sticking that they feel like their potential is to put paint. To do really good prep and sick cut lines and do a good job, make clients happy. Like they don't feel like they're not living up to their potential. Like that feels like what they want to do, which is perfect. Because then I got the sales guys that they feel like they're hitting their thing, and then you don't feel like this resentment in the company of like, oh, I want to be where that guy's at, but I'm here. A lot of guys are like, I'm happy with, and I pay well.
Yeah, I saw this one thing. It's like you have 2 bricklayers, right? You have a bricklayer who's making a church, and then you have a bricklayer like he knows the art of what he's building, and then you have the other bricklayer who's kind of just like, fuck, I'm here at work, fuck this shit, da da da. You want to get the person who sees the project.
Dude,
in the day,
totally,
right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it's like one person's like, I'm just laying bricks. And one's like, I'm building a cathedral.
Yeah, bro.
And that's the only thing that separates it. They're both doing the exact same action, but one is thinking about the end in mind or thinking about what they're creating.
Yeah.
Dude, totally.
And do you think that's your process of how you hire? Is that what eliminates the person who's just like, fuck this shit?
Yeah, totally. Like, and that's gonna be usually the leaders. Like the leaders, yes, I hire for the leaders, but a lot of times they come in your orbit. They just kind of show up. They're like, I want to learn, and that's when you're like, that's a stud. Those are like the diamonds in the rough. You can find 500 applicants on Indeed. I see those differently at the ones that come to you and are like, dude, I saw what you've done. I want to learn. I see what this guy's created and this guy's done. Like, I really want to do that. And I have another guy just came in our orbit. Yeah. And you saw it. And usually they're kind of mutual friends. People say don't run business with your friends. I think that's bullshit, bro. You can create a business with your boys and you guys have expectations with each other, roles, responsibilities. You can keep each other accountable. You work out together. You're men together. Yeah. Bro, that's the best. 100%. You have stakes at the end of the day. You're like, oh, we just made money together. Let's go.
That's like great. OVO, bro. That's like Drake shit, bro. Like where he has all the boys from Toronto who are just out there in Turks and Caicos,
way better,
just having fun, bro.
Like we're all going to Costa Rica. I hired a videographer to come out with us. We're gonna go make videos.
When are you guys going?
We're going. I'm gonna go to Colombia from January 7th with my girl from January 7th to January 18th, and then I'm gonna meet them in Costa Rica.
Nice.
We're gonna stick villa. We got a guy on Upwork that's already living in there. He's gonna come film. We're gonna map out next year, make some content, in hopes to find new managers because we're gonna post that. Be like, look, we're looking for one more key manager. This is the kind of lifestyle you're gonna have if you do well. So
when you're creating your vision, do you feel it's important to get out of the city?
I never thought of it that way. I think that's sick, and like that's probably what is the best to do. I've always just like, what do I actually want to do? Put it on paper. Always put it on paper. Write exactly, and write it in the past, the future tense. I have done this. Not I will do this. I have done this by this date. This is how I feel about it. This is what I've been able to do. This is what it did to serve others. Whatever it is, like create it real. So when you read it, you actually like you believe it already happened in a sense. And then I put that shit on my ceiling.
Yeah.
Like always.
So then when you wake up, you're looking straight up.
You can't avoid it. You can't avoid your big goals, even if you want to. You're like, yo, I don't know if it's gonna happen. You see it.
I feel like you're naturally creative, like in like not here though. Like when the boys are out there in Costa Rica and you guys are like seeing the sunset, you guys are relaxing. It's like all of a sudden like bigger shit comes to mind. You know what I mean?
Bro.
So like that's dope. That's why we're going to Miami, eh? Nüvida's going to Miami.
Ooh,
July, episode 100.
Wow.
Honestly, 100% with it. 100%.
Do you think you'll tap back into like your art? Like form that you used to be, like your artistic, like even to being a rapper, like you know what I mean. You think you'll ever do your own song? Now?
What was your rap name?
It was just my name.
I love it. I love it.
No, but I definitely at some point I will, because I was writing raps about writing rap. Like I was just, I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about. I'm young and I'm just like saying. And that's what most guys, and that's where I see the music industry falls. People start talking about what everyone else is talking about, and usually it's like demonic stuff. It's like drugs, whatever, this, and they don't even really actually feel that way. And then they create that lifestyle around them where they attract those people and they just put themselves in their own hell. Yeah. And I realized I was saying things in my raps that I didn't agree with, and it actually took a mushroom trip for me to come to realization, because I was doing it a lot. I was writing a bunch of stuff, having bars, whatever, remembering the words in my head, but I was creating a life I didn't want to live. Actually, like even though I was just like rapping with complaints or whatever. To me, it's like my whole life. That's a big deal. To most people, it's like, don't even know what's happening in my life. You know, it's like a little thing. It's like your little thing you're working on.
But it's a good thing. Like, I feel like you're expressing like what you feel in your head. Like, honestly, I used to write raps too. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You've heard it. White trucks and white chucks, bro. Like that was one of the songs I've made. And like, I used to like, I'm kind of like you in the sense of like, I'm very artistic. Like, I would do beats. I would rap. Remember me and your cousin?
Yeah.
Bro, everything, bro. Everything.
Yeah, like
my brothers were like that too. They would freestyle. They got me, like, dude. I read a rap. I remember grade 3. I did a rap in front of the school.
Yeah.
Really?
Yo, my name is Justin. And I'm gonna be busting some rhymes. I busted every time. Yo, St. Mark's. This rap is all mine. I mention. I always get attention, except in detention, causing suspension. This comprehension. My raps are the best. Don't mess. I'll squish you like a pest. Like my brother helped me.
The fact you have it still locked in.
But that's what I mean. Your words create your reality, bro. So when you're remembering these raps, like that was kind of a fun rap, but when I got into like really writing, I was like saying things I didn't really want to actually live out, and I would remember them. So it's like that was in my subconscious. And that when I read the four agreements, I was like, yo, I gotta stop saying things I don't want to be thinking about. Realistically.
The projection.
So I stopped. So I just stopped writing, and it was like I felt like, am I leaving my purpose? Am I not following my calling? You know, these thoughts. And I think a lot of us have that, where we feel like we have this like superstar vision of our life, but we also gotta be practical. So I was just balancing those two, and that's where I think really put in the work with the painting business. I was like, I'm gonna put that fire somewhere. But now I'm like, I'm making music now of like, what do I want to listen to? You know, jump out of bed in the morning. I'm killing my goals now. Morning for the glory. I'm hungry and horny. I'm living out my success story. Only see me with studs in my orbit. We treat ourselves like we're important. Like a sponge, I'm abundance absorbing. Then reinvest in my mind like a mortgage. I'm building my financial fortress, one brick at a time with the mortar. I take chaos and line it in order. Now you see us, we're dining on porter. Houses. Gorgeous. You know, like stuff I actually want to listen to.
You know what's awesome? It seems like your rap is, you could rap about what other people's lives. Now you're in the moment where you can rap about your life. Your experiences are so vast. Now you can literally talk about exactly those porterhouses. You're probably eating them, so that's why you feel like
totally. That. And I jump out of bed in the morning, and I'm, you know,
I that was gas, but I gotta
hear that, and I feel comfortable in my own subconscious having that play back. So if I'm not paying attention to it, but those are the bars I remember, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm jumping out of bed in the morning, I'm killing my goals, I'm doing these things. So you'd be like, oh, life's so hard, I'm just don't know what I'm gonna do, you know.
But what I love is like as a creator, you will never forget those lines.
Never.
Like the white chucks, I still have those lines.
Of course.
Okay, pause. You know how to come in hard, put away that Cuban cigar. I'm the jefe. I'm in charge. You know what I mean? Like, it's just absolutely it goes. Totally. Man. But like that, man, that's so real, bro. And like the fact that you're turning that into like in a sense, like I don't like that whole like woohoo shit, but like affirmations are real. You know what I mean? Like when you really have intent, and like your rap changed from this to that.
Yeah, and like you are what you eat, you are what you listen to, you are what you say you are what you do. So it's like, if I'm gonna be doing rap or whatever, I'm gonna at least have it so it's like feeding my life in the beneficial way. And if I ever posted it someday and my kid or something listened to it, like, this pumped me up to be more successful.
Yeah, and don't lose that, bro, because that's you.
Not. Yeah,
that's you. Like, no matter how successful you are, you're gonna be fucking very successful. But no matter how successful you are, though, don't lose that.
No, for sure.
Write it in your own diaries, rap it to your girl or whatever. But like, don't lose that, because the artistic is the valuable part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I want to incorporate that in my content at some point. I think there's always still gonna be the kind of thing of like, is it too soon or when should I do it? I don't want to be someone I'm not. There's all these thoughts, right? We all have them, man. We all have them.
100%. In a way, I think that's you though, right? It's like you've only like produced yourself and shown everybody. I think like it's just another touch now. Like you're just jumping into like. As you've kind of shown, is like your passion is what you jump into, and that's what reflects upon you, right? I'm passionate about sharing my experiences, coaching people, blah blah blah. Now when you do music, it'll be pretty dope to listen to.
Yeah, bro. What led to TradeLaunch though? Was it a rap one night or what?
Yeah, I was rapping and that's so funny. That's crazy. I'm just rapping with camera.
No,
it was fire. You didn't drop.
No, and I think it's important that people see the real like you, bro. You're a monster entrepreneur. Like let's not fucking fake it. You are, bro. And but you're also a real person. And like that's the most valuable part of it, bro. Is you know what I mean? Like you're just doing you, and that's important, bro.
I think it is important, man. It's important. We all got our own things. Like there's probably some guys that are like crazy Lego builders.
Oh
want to show the world.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
That's my own advice. Take myself, and I'm learning as I go, and that's probably where the fire comes from, because I'm maybe not doing some of the things that I want to do, so I'm putting in other places. I'm discovering as we're talking right now.
Yeah.
But to go back to reframe the question you just said again.
Yeah. No. So like, what led to TradeLaunch?
Oh, totally. So, recently I had some things going with my family where I really had to step out of my business, and the business kept running and kept making money. It's like we're doing really well, and it's like I don't really need to be there anymore. Even like today or yesterday I was like, we're going to this conference for real estate investing, and we're gonna have a booth for our business, and I put my name down and like all the leaders that are gonna be there, and I was gonna put their positions, and then like I was like, bro, we don't even really have like, I'm not like the owner CEO, like I'm not that at all. I'm like, and then Mark, the guy the guys running the business with me, he's coming in as a partner. He's like, yo, your culture and excellence. He's like, I'm relationships and deals.
That's a dope.
He's like, this guy's the client success and like organization. This guy's results and whatever. Like this is actually what we do. There's no positions here.
Yeah.
So then I realized like I'm all about creating culture in this, but I don't really need to be in the day to day at all.
Yeah.
So I got some systems here. I got sued over the systems because they obviously knew like I was gonna do something with it. So they tried to sue me, stop me. So that's valuable shit. But so over the past 2 years, silently I was putting together a course where, one, to save myself and my business time, so when I hire a new door-to-door rep, they go through the door-to-door masterclass. Boom, they go right through. They learn everything about door-to-door they need to learn.
It's like onboarding process.
Yeah, I made an onboarding SOP for my own business, right? And then I made another one for sales. This is the setup call you do. This is how you handle objections. This is how you close. This is how you handle like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I started to be like, whoa, this is like not just for my own business, because guys were going through it and then making crazy results.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna add in a recruiting one. This is how you find painters. This is how you find managers. This is how you find sales guys. This is how you organize your calendar. This is how you organize your Google Drive. These are the templates of all our lawn signs and everything that you can just customize and use yourself. Here's everything in my business. Put it in this course. It's easy to use. It's like my videos are so, I don't mean to my own horn, but like they're very like, this is how you open Google Drive. This is how you make a new file. You double click with your right finger. Like you can
like
do it.
I hate to say it.
I
hate to say it. You mean the stupid proof,
bro? Stupid proof.
That's what it has to be.
Like Google Drive, like Safari. Like what is that? Like a lot of contractors, they like just paper and pen and darts.
And like bro. I used to work in the trades. Like I used to be a bricklayer. I used to be working like renovations, like turning over bathrooms, and like. Yeah, there's a big gap between like that and the computer.
Bro,
let's be honest.
That and computer. Their desk is papers everywhere, quotes and like, I'll get back to you on this quote. Yeah. And it's like, no, we're going to close on site. We're going to close on site. Yeah. We're going to handle objectives. We're going to make sure both homeowners are home. And these are things I learned in the franchise. These are things I learned from courses. These I learned from books. I just put everything together, put in this course. I think it's extremely underpriced. I'm going to up the price. I'm going to double it in the new year. Yeah. I'm like extremely underpriced. Yeah. I got 20 guys in it right now. They're crushing it. I got a guy book a $110K job from an email blast we did.
Jeez.
We scraped a list of property managers, sent out an email. He booked $110K. Boom.
What was the result with your first student that you had? The first person that you gave the project
$600K to $1 million.
But
has a kid, off the tools, production manager hired. Boom.
Was it somebody that like even to like I'm just asked because like so was it somebody that wanted it or you kind of seen them and you're like okay I want to work it off on them?
Yeah. So the first guy did for free. So I just coached him for free.
Okay.
And I didn't charge him and this is what and I didn't even really know at the time that was what I should do. But I just like didn't really understand my value yet and I was like hey this is whatever.
Like, let me get a testimonial or something.
Totally.
Yeah.
So
proof.
So that was good. Then I had other guys come in and then they started doing well. I have a Facebook group. It's a free Facebook group. People come in there. I got burp again.
Yeah. Do your thing.
A free Facebook group. People come in. Yeah, and then from there I just like give away free value.
What's the Facebook group called?
It's called the Contractor Success Community. I was like, what do I name it? My boy's like, I don't know, Contractor Success Community. Yeah, it's fire.
And anybody can join, or?
Yeah, anybody can join.
Dope.
Well, no, I don't let anybody join. There's some people that just like I can tell they're like spams or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, Facebook has some weird
bots,
bots,
everything like that.
or like they're like also in my trying to like take my clients.
Oh.
Like, you're not coming in.
Yeah.
So they fill out a questionnaire to join, and I kind of expect them, and then I usually just improve most people.
Yeah.
But one thing, refraining that, you know, I could have spent a month deciding on the name of that Facebook group. I could have spent a month. I could have spent a month deciding on what banner I'd use. But that was one day. One day, I'm like, hey, contractor success community, sure, whatever, fuck it, let's throw it up. I'm gonna give enough value that it doesn't matter what the name is. And a lot of guys get stuck on, I'm gonna name my business, so I'm gonna spend a month and hire a brand guy. And this is like, dude, that doesn't even matter, because if you're giving shit, doesn't matter what name your shit is, it's still shit.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like the speed in business is so important, and that's what I started learning. Is like now it's like, do it, just post it. A piece of content, like I post a lot of content in the free Facebook group. I'm posting it. Boom, always.
Yeah.
Like don't hold it back.
Yeah.
It could be stupid. Like I was even drunk and posted something stupid of like whatever, but people loved it.
It was valuable. It was valuable.
Yeah.
Realness.
So with the group, what I'm really building is like, this is gonna be the Harvard for dogs. Okay, for dogs, because I don't let anyone in, and I've rejected a lot of people on the onboarding process. I'm like, are you willing to knock on doors? I'm like, nah, like I'd rather not. I'm like, hey, you're not gonna be in the group.
Yeah.
They go, no, but no, you're not coming in.
No.
Yeah.
I had a guy in the group. He paid me. It's like, yeah, there's still a good fee. He paid me the fee. I had it in full. He's coming on the group calls. He's complaining. He's bitching and moaning about how his city's different than everyone else's. He can't be successful. I just refunded his money, kicked him out of the group.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, I don't need your money. My business is already doing at least enough to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So I don't need your money. I genuinely want you guys to do really well.
Yeah.
And that's when the culture starts building now, where it's like, I only let in dogs.
Yeah. Well, you can't have like that little like cancer in there, bro.
No,
You
bro.
can't, bro, because then all of a sudden it makes another person think, wait, is my city not good?
Yeah, I can't do
Is
it
it
either.
enough?
It's dark. I can't knock on doors in the dark.
Like,
Like,
am I
I cannot
getting
be-
ripped off? It's like, no, bro, you need the fucking
Yeah,
hustlers,
get
bro.
out.
Yeah.
At this point, do you think you're ever gonna give away those reins of like onboarding people and bringing them in? Because like you have this culture that like you identify with in your vision. Do you think you could put somebody else in that spot?
Totally. And that's always in business. I got to keep replacing myself. I'm never going to get too attached to a position, because if I actually want to grow, I'm going to trust people. And that's like trusting managers with my painting clients. And we're doing really good work. Like if you Google us, we have like 150 5-star reviews. I don't think we have any bad reviews. We might have one because they got mad that we left the door hanger or something. Like we really do go above and beyond for our clients.
Yeah.
Which is like that's in our core values. Like we deliver excellence. But yeah, with the trade launch, with the onboarding process, I've learned from multiple courses I've taken, like you want to market in a way to already just attract your ideal client. So as soon as I kicked out the client that wasn't doing what they were supposed to do, I made a post. Hey, just booted a guy that was being a bitch and wasn't doing the work he needed to do. So I have a spot open up. If you guys are actually ready to work and don't think that if you pay money for some guy, he's going to make you rich right away. If you actually know you're going to be putting in work to be successful, we have one more spot. Boom, 3 guys want to come in. So it's like, there's always content to be used. And if you use the content correctly, I could have someone onboard those people because my post attracted the type of person I want. So it's like, that's kind of where I'm getting at, where like, you know, you want to frame your marketing in a sense where you don't even really need to worry too much about, because you're attracting the right people.
Yeah.
Like what bait are you using?
Yeah. What's your vision with TradeLaunch?
So the vision of TradeLaunch has become the biggest contractor academy for different trades. So it's like right now it's a lot of painters are in there, but soon they're gonna hire the guy's crushing roofing. He's gonna come in as a coach. Boom. Now we're crushing roofing, solar, this. This is where like, you know,
Clean.
Pretty much any cleaning everything.
oh, cleaning, roofing, like Mike, we're talking about
Yeah,
roofing.
yeah, bro.
Nick, probably snow removal. Like, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
let's build this thing, because there's a lot of value here to help a lot of guys that all they know is working with their hands, and we can shift their mindset.
And I'll be honest, like I went to Queen's University, like honestly, not a big deal. At the end of the day, not like I didn't even go to my graduation, bro.
Yeah.
Like honestly, because I don't fucking care, bro. But at the end of the day, it's like there is a gap in the trades though.
Oh.
And I do feel like I added a lot of value, like for example, my dad's renovation company, my cousin's masonry company, like I added a lot of value just off like what I learned off university.
Yeah.
So it's like once you tap into the trades with that sort of knowledge, you can change everything, bro.
Totally.
I think personally, like with trades, you have the biggest dogs, the hardest workers.
Yeah.
It's just a lack of knowledge, or how they could literally
Bro.
be those guys, like literally be the business guys.
Dude,
they
they're
just
working
don't have
20 hours.
Yeah,
they're
but they
laying
don't
concrete. They're
Yeah.
coming home at 4 a.m. They're like ready to go at 7.
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and smoking a dart. Like these are fucking animal
Yeah.
dogs. It's like, yo, you just gotta call your clients, say this thing, just say this.
But they
It's
don't
like,
want
I don't
to.
know if
right?
I can.
can't.
Yeah, a lot of times it's like the insecurity about their talking and their communication skills. That's where the big thing is. They're just like want to work.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can do that if you want, but like,
But you
dude,
could
we
also
can make way more money if you do it
Yeah.
this way. And like, some guys are leaning towards that, and they're like, yo, this worked. Like,
Yeah.
it worked.
Bro, that's so special, bro. You're actually making like grown men and young men like actually
Dude,
see
totally.
their potential,
With
bro.
kids, they got a wife at
Yeah,
home.
bro.
Like in the onboarding process, I'm like, is your wife supportive? Does she
Yeah.
agree with this decision? Like, we got to get her on board. And sometimes they're like, no. I'm like, doesn't matter, because you're gonna be successful. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just buy it.
Your wife's probably like, yo, get in the car with Justin.
Yeah.
Get in the car with Justin.
Yeah. I recently had a guy, and he didn't ever bring his wife on, and then finally on a call with him and his wife, and him and his wife were on. She's like, I see he's making some traction. I want to help him out with his business now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, perfect. You're the new admin. So I made her
Yeah.
SOP. This is what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna be calling these clients. You're doing this.
Still giving her work so she feels included.
But bro, those,
And now
those
the husband's like,
that,
there.
co-
And the husband-
that combination's deadly.
Deadly.
dude,
Yeah.
deadly.
Deadly.
And she was already like, I could see. You start seeing a relationship dynamic when you're like coaching it. Like I was talking. This is like literally just like I think it was literally yesterday, and she's like, yeah, but sometimes like she's just complaining about him a bit, and I could see him in like the corner. He's probably like, fuck, like why is she saying this shit? And I was like, honestly, like you know obviously a lot about your husband, but there's certain things I know, and this guy's the hardest worker. Like boom, boom, pump him up.
You're the
And he's
coach.
looking at
Yes.
me, and it's like. I'm trying to give value in other ways too. Like I'll get guys to bring on your door-to-door guy that's complaining about door-to-door. I'm gonna pump his ass up.
Yeah.
I want to give the authentic value that most courses won't. Then it's like, I just changed your team. I just changed your relationship with your wife, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, that's
And it's
the kind of
raw.
shit-
It's not fake.
Yeah,
No, it's
it's
actually
raw.
raw.
Yeah.
Bro.
You
That's
wanna
the most
do it.
valuable part
Yeah.
about it.
Even
Right?
too, he just smiles at when he's talking about it.
I
He's
know,
just
bro.
smiling like he's like it's a skill. Don't let go of it. I'll
Yeah.
tell you
For
that.
sure, bro. And it's great. I'm super happy about it. It's exciting, and it's gonna keep growing. And I have to thank all the coaches that have taught me shit, because I just basically, they say R&D, you rip off and duplicate. I've learned from this. Take
Yo.
it, boom, duplicate, boom, take it, duplicate, make it better, make it my own. You know, copyright. I'll make sure it doesn't fucking.
Yeah.
After
copyright.
hearing that, I thought that was one of the smartest things I heard from that event, from the IDU, was rip off and duplicate.
Yeah, that was Nick from
Yeah.
Nick Snow.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that was wild.
It's
for
smart,
him to-
man. That's what
but
everyone does. We
100%,
all
bro.
do it.
Yeah.
There were no idea is really that original.
No,
100%.
the wheel was reinvented, so
It's just how can you execute better?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I feel like not like our generation, but I feel like the younger cats kind of get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the systems, the SOP, the using social media for marketing, like using Facebook ads. Da, da, da. Like the old heads are like, I don't need fucking social media. I don't need
No,
all this
totally.
stuff, right? Like,
Yeah. And there's also the other end of that is like, we can get too much into like outreach. We can get more with ads. This is this, that we forget about what the old heads are talking about with the reputation.
yeah,
personal
Actually doing a good job for that one person. Because like I was saying in the earlier this conversation, a lot of us are like fucking up here. We're thinking dreams, goals, Hermosi, Instagram, this, boom,
Yeah.
boom. But it's like, how was that conversation you had with the guy at the gym today when he gave you his towel? You know, was that like, you know, there's so
Yeah.
much that we could do in the moment that could really expand our reputation and like really build like a true network of people. There's a lot
Yeah.
we're missing, and at least you know what, there's a lot I'm missing that I see in my day to day where I'm thinking all ahead. It's like, yo, ground a bit, and that's like Mike, the fucking Tazza boss. in my
yeah,
head.
oh yeah.
So yo,
Biggest question.
I was gonna say, yo, you're going to a big event though with Pat Bet David. Explain
Yeah.
that. Explain what made you want to sign up for that. And
Yeah, no, I gotta shout out Jackson for that. So I share an office with Jackson Myers. He owns Gutter Guys Plus
Yeah.
with his brother. Amar, he did real estate wholesaling, and
Monster.
he's crushing monster, and a bunch of other boys in there. But Jackson, we've been getting closer, just talking about business and all that kind of stuff. He went to a PBD event where basically he was in the crowd. PBD's talking, Tom Brady's there, all these people are there. You see all these like guys crushing it, networking, whatever. But Jackson found this guy that's like, yo, there's these tickets. There's like, I think there's like 50 tickets. They're like $20K. But if you get them, you get to go in the very front row. But not only that, you get to go to PBD's house after and have a cigar with PBD, talk to PBD. Yeah, so we're gonna go meet Patrick Bet David. We're gonna go suit up, like, and it's in November, so we already prepaid. But it's gonna, like, there's no way that I want to go meet him if I'm not where I should be.
Yeah.
Like, I want to come with so much momentum that I'm like in the gym every day. My business is crushing. I'm feeling good. My relationships are tight. Because that way I'll feel honored, like I'll feel ready to meet him. So it's
Yeah.
a good nugget to have ahead of time.
yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
But yo, go ahead.
Do you have a fear about meeting him in any way?
Totally, bro. Well, okay. When I say totally, I mean like I could see how it could go wrong if I don't ask the right question or say the
Vulnerability.
right thing.
Let's go here.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm just gonna totally be myself. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
bro.
be like, yo. But I'm not gonna be too fanboy either. You gotta be strategic.
Bro,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
room you're supposed to be in.
Yeah.
That's the room you're supposed to be in.
Yeah, no, totally. So I
Right?
gotta feel like I belong.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna thank him for everything. I'm like, dude, we learned a lot from you. Thank you so much. I have a few questions I would just love if I could ask you, and then I want need to have
write it down.
something
Yeah.
so they prepare for these. Because that's
Catch
what
him
we
off
talked about.
guard too, though. Catch him off
Like a
guard.
fire
If you
question.
do, yeah, you
Bro,
have
you have to
yo.
listen to his most recent thing before November, and then just be like, boom. And then he'll be
Yeah.
like, how did you know about that?
Yeah, I heard you said
I
this.
fucking knew about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like when you were 25, you were on this podcast. I heard you say this. Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens. But I think that's where your money should go, man. Especially at this age, it's like Alex Hormozy says, like invest in the SME 500.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
The
courses.
SME 500.
100%,
That's
bro.
fucking dope, bro.
I didn't create that, Al Hormozy, but it's
Yeah.
fire though. It's like, I don't know, in stocks and Bitcoin stuff, sure, but it's like that's so outside of your control. Like regardless, you could be strategic, but if you just put that money into yourself, you
Killer.
can go knock on the door.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can go make that call,
Yeah.
make that deal.
100%. 100%, bro. Damn. How do you feel, buddy?
Man, I'm actually, I'm very, I don't know, I've learned a lot from you. I'm actually super inspired by the way, like, you come off. And even, too, it's just, like, I like listening stories from people who try to impact others when, like, their second goal is to impact themselves. You've done it in some forms, but when you find somebody who their happiness is through others, it's something that's remarkable.
But the second thing I find is, bro, like you're really into your physical health and your mental health. Can we elaborate on that? Because like I saw you like my first meal of the day, the fucking biggest plate of meat and this and that. Like let's get into that, bro. Like what do you put into your body and how important is that?
I'm really getting on that now with some like sickness in the family and things happen where it's like, hey, this is important. I always thought it was important, but now it's like this is really important. So ideally, and my girl knows this because I'm like pretty picky with what we buy at the grocery store. It's like we want free range, organic, eggs, like
Grass fed.
Yeah, like we want the good eggs. A lot of times like the chickens they eat bugs. So if you see bug fed or like
browner.
that's great. You want the egg. The yolk should be fucking orange.
Yeah.
Good quality eggs. Even if there's a little poop on them, good.
Sure.
Fucking, that's great.
Why not?
That's
real.
the eggs
It's
you
Give
want.
it to me.
It's real.
You want that shit.
Yeah.
No, but then there's like grass-fed, grass-finished beef. And I don't always buy this, but this is what the ideal is. Again,
Yeah.
I just want to always have ideals. Usually grass-fed, grass-finished beef, organs, liver, all that kind of stuff. You see it all online. The shit that Carnivore MD talks about.
Yeah.
You see Paul Saladino.
Yeah, Paul
Yeah.
Saladino,
Totally.
the
So it's
boy.
like raw
Beauty.
milk. I haven't had raw milk yet. I'm super stoked to get it. I'm in this group on Facebook. I can invite you boys. It's like a
Do
little
it,
group.
do
It's
it,
a raw
do it,
milk
do it,
group.
do it.
That'd be
Send
dope,
it, send
Because
it.
this is illegal.
Like the
Oh,
yeah,
is
yeah,
it?
'cause
Raw
yeah,
milk's illegal.
It's,
Is it
it's
in
called
Canada?
kefir, right?
Like-
Okay, it's not fortified.
No, so
no.
people
It's
post-
like it's just it has to be pasteurized.
Dude,
Like, they won't because like
People
going back
post
home,
anonymously. They're like, this is the address. And
Yeah.
people just go and pick up.
bro. It's
That's
like
dope.
think about this, like almost like prohibition back in the day with alcohol. That's how you get like it's kefir or whatever they call it.
How
Really.
crazy is it?
Bro,
that
it's crazy. They're
fucking
trying
illegal,
to make
bro.
men little bitches. Bro.
Yeah,
So they're like,
bro.
we don't want them having the good meat.
Yeah.
We don't want them having the good milk.
That's
No, they gotta
crazy.
eat bugs and shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well,
man.
take that in what London or was it London that just established the biggest cricket farm ever?
Really?
Bruh.
Yeah.
Look, you know
I don't know
London
if
is
it's
a
London.
testing ground for Canada?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know that?
Oh, yeah,
They'll
oh, yeah.
test out shit on us.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, COVID. Like, put a mask on and see if you go to the store.
Yeah.
We did it. Let's go give them some more fucking
Yeah.
boosters. Crazy. But yeah, health is important. I think the way that I am shaping my mindset around health is like, what were the primal... Like, I love the idea of primal, bro.
Yeah.
I love the idea of, like, hunter-gatherer because this is raw. It's like,
Yeah.
you're going out, you're getting it. So it's like, if I could work hungry, I'll probably do more than if I was working on a full stomach.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I wake up in the morning, eat this big meal, and I'm like satiated. It's like, no, I'd rather wake up hungry, black coffee, sparkling water, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like you're at least you're filling your stomach.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm alert, I'm dialed, and my hunger is getting satiated from the work I'm getting done.
Yeah.
Then I come home and I just eat like a big meal, and I feel like I just deserved it.
Deserved it.
Muck
Got your
it.
kill of the
Came
day.
home with a fucking beer and your moose
Yeah, I
and you're
got
like,
my
your
moose,
family.
got my Siberian tiger,
I love that, bro.
Yeah, it's fun, and like I don't say I do this every day.
Yeah.
I don't say, oh, every day I do one meal a day. No, sometimes I'm like the other day I just brought pepperettes to work and mucked them, but it's
Yeah,
like, whatever. But
exactly.
most of the time I don't eat until I get home, and
Yeah.
and I'll turn on. There's like a Squid Game thing right now. There's like
The
have you
Squid Game
Yeah.
challenges? Yeah, I just finished it last night. You'll be surprised who wins.
Moy or whatever.
You'll be surprised who wins.
Moy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I watched it.
Even
Oh,
so
sure,
smart
sure.
with it. Yeah.
Spoiler. We cut it out.
Jokes, bro.
No, that's funny as fuck. But I usually don't watch movies either. In TV, but like if something comes out like that, I'm like,
You gotta. It's
You have to.
Come
You have
on.
to. You have to.
Yeah.
What I have been watching though is like I like the war movies. I like Fight Club, like all those masculine movies.
Yeah.
I actually genuinely feel like I'm getting better watching them.
Yeah.
And you're eating your popcorn.
Or like
you're watching
fucking Dragon Ball Z, like
Yeah.
Goku, fucking Judge
Jack. You make you want to be like Rocky.
Yeah.
The music. I love it, man. You need that inspiration.
Yeah,
That
bro.
outside
One
source.
big question I have for you, bro.
Yeah.
Is your inner child happy with who you are today?
My inner child. Bro, my inner child had a seizure. Your child was fucking whack. Like he was going through so much. There was shit going on in the fam, and but yeah, he's totally happy. But he's also being like, he's like pulling at my arm, being like, remember.
Yeah.
That's who you're running from.
Remember what though?
I don't know. Just remember.
Who you're running from.
Remember. Just remember.
So that person is like happy with who you are.
Yeah,
right now.
happy, and it's like also remember.
Remember where I came from, kind of thing.
Sure. Just remember.
Yeah.
just always remember.
Is that what you hear every time? Like,
I just made it up right now.
Yeah,
no, but you said to me, I just visualized it.
Yeah,
like
that's
a little,
dope.
that's
honest,
my
though.
arm.
That's
remember.
That'll keep you humble.
Bro, just remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason you said it though. That's the big thing of it. Like you literally said, remember. If it wasn't something that's there, it wouldn't be said right now.
As you said it, I saw my my nephew Leo looking at me like just innocence. You know, the world's everything. Like there's no like everything's open.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want. There's no hostility. It's okay. Just like remember. You're okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I remember I used to go to school, put on my bag, no worries in life.
Oh, you
Fucking go to school,
with the little fucking thing.
Literally, bro. I used to have the pumps, bro.
Yeah.
I used to pump that shit up before basketball.
Dude, I had the
games, bro.
Tisa hat. It was fake. Fucking walking in. Like for to be honest.
Yeah,
Remember that shit?
Like,
Oh,
to be
man.
honest.
Yeah. What's it called?
You hope the hot girls would be like, be a 2 hours.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't give any. I would just wait for the hot ones.
Yeah,
Dude, I was scrolling my old Facebook the other day and went way back, and it was like date or pass, like pass. It's like on my story, like
I love that.
Love
bro.
it, man.
I
The
love
old
that.
Facebook and that dude. When you actually look at your old Facebook, if you were active on it, you were so raw.
Bro,
raw.
We did it. We did it on
most
Twitter.
raw,
Me and
bro.
him did it on Twitter. We went through our old Twitters, and like we're reading mine and his. We're just laughing at each other because we're like, "You said that, or you said that."
Bro, me, Deshaun, he goes to Good Life in the
Yeah,
gym.
yeah,
Yeah, me, Deshaun, and Charles, bro. I read the other day. It's like 10 years ago. It was like,
Oh, the picture.
what chick wants to chill with the boys?
Yeah, it's like regular like
Doesn't matter.
Mac or pass. Like Mac, I'm gonna Mac you so hard with MVD tonight. It's like you're just like so front.
MVDs, bro.
Love it.
That's
bro.
the first time I heard a bubble, bro. That's when the hips got loose and I saw
man.
you dance.
Hey, your note from your mom that you wrote.
Yeah,
you're in.
love
Mom
that,
dropped
bro.
you off, picked you up.
No, for
Fuck
sure.
that.
That was our raw, like, tapping in.
Yeah.
And I love that energy. It's
Yeah.
like we need to continue that. Just being like, this is what I'm
100%.
thinking, this is what I'm saying, and I'll do my best to deliver it in the best way, but at the end of the day I'm gonna say what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Love it.
that's probably the best answer we've had.
Yeah.
We've asked that to a few people and just remember.
Yeah.
Remember, bro.
Because one person, her name's Sarah Ferrugia. She was a boxer for Rough and Rowdy, Barstool's Rough and Rowdy, and she was like, you know what? Like I got told one day that the childhood, like who you are as a child, is kind of who you really want to be as an adult. You know what I mean? So like that inspiration, that let's do this, let's get it. It's like a lot of people lose that through like fucking office jobs, corporate
Totally,
jobs,
bro.
this and that. So if
Yeah.
you still have that raw power, it's like fuck, let's
Hold
do
on
it. You
and
know what I
keep
mean?
it.
Yeah, and if
Hold-
you
hold
lose
on.
it, and a lot of guys lose it, they're probably listening to this, they're like, I don't have that
Yeah.
raw power.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Still
okay.
there.
So how do you start a fire?
You gotta work for it. You gotta put stick to stick.
Like, what do you do? Do you get big logs right away, or what do you actually do
No,
to
you
start a
gotta
fire?
grab
The tiny, the
grab
cedar,
tinder,
the
some
fucking tinder,
little
dust.
rocks.
Yeah, yeah.
Little things,
Yeah.
dude. So like, what are the little things first? You're not gonna go, I'm lost. I need a fucking 100K. So
Yeah.
that's a big log. Okay, you need the kindling, the astonishing shit. That's go on a run. We're going on a walk tomorrow. Go do a cold shower for 2 seconds. Just try something different. Read a page of a book. Kindling, and then all of a sudden there's momentum starting. You listen to the right people. Put the bigger sticks on there. That starts burning now. Okay, put the bigger logs on.
Yeah.
Boom. Fucking throw a house on there, bro. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, that's
Fuck,
what better way?
what better way, bro?
What better way?
Fuck,
yeah,
bro.
Justin, you've been an amazing guest, inspirational, like even too, like just overall, like you've been an amazing person to just meet.
Bro, you guys have given me the space to share. I've never had this before. You guys are like very humble, and I can talk. I don't feel like I'm like taking the spotlight. Like you guys are wanting to learn. I love
Appreciate
you,
it,
boys.
bro.
Thank you,
No.
boys.
And we're gonna have you back. We're
100%.
gonna have
Not
you back
even,
100%,
like,
bro.
Even too after, let's do it right after he comes back from Pat Bet David. I want to hear what
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
happen.
for
dope.
sure.
Let's do that, bro. And
So-
like, is there anything else you would like to promote, like to our audience or people who are viewing?
Hey, your camera, talk to him.
Oh, not really.
Not really,
You
eh?
guys know where to find me.
Yeah,
That's
we'll,
it.
we'll make sure to add all of your like trade launch, 519 painting, all of your stuff. We'll make sure to add in the bio. And like, bro, thank you so much for coming on, bro.
Yeah, if you guys want a
Honestly.
job, hit me up. You want to make 100K? Yeah, let's do it.
I'm serious.
Dude, there's one more person. There's one more that like-minded stud. You know you're a fucking stud, but you don't really know what direction. Let's go. The boys are waiting for you.
Love it.
Hey,
love
fucking
it.
love
Let's
it.
end it there then. Yo, thank you so much, brother.
Yo, what a fucking monster.
Let's go.
Hey,
Longest podcast. Let's talk.
if you like, remember, hold on, I got this. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and
Speak of the mic.
oh. David told me. So remember, like, comment, subscribe, and peace.
Peace.
Fuck. Dirty.